Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. We're like a book club for people who hate reading. This week we're doing the movie Inglourious Basterds, made in 2009, and we bring you movie news at the end of the show. This week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens,
Hello.
and the man who loves that little box, Ryan Preston. Hey, in this month of December, we're going to do a very Tarantino Christmas, and to kick things off, it was James's choice. So, James, what was the movie you picked?
Inglourious Basterds. The premise is pretty simple. In Nazi-occupied France during World War II, a plan to assassinate Nazi leaders by a group of Jewish U.S. soldiers. I don't know, I don't like the Jewish U.S. soldiers according to IMDb, but anyways, coincides with the theater owner's vengeful plans for the same.
I was going to
What's
say,
your problem with the group of Jewish soldiers?
I mean, it should be like a specialized group of Jewish soldiers. You know, that's like just Jewish soldiers.
That's what they were. They were all like private first classes. He pulled them out of their shitty little companies to join up, and they became the bastards later. But that's an accurate
I know,
description.
but they're like an
Special
elite,
ops.
yeah, special ops crew.
Yeah, but they weren't exactly trained for special ops. They were, it was on like OJT, on-job training.
Aldo Raines, the character Brad Pitt played.
Aldo Raines.
Yeah, Aldo Raines. He was the one who trained him. So I mean,
Yeah, they trained them when they were in Germany.
yeah. Anyways, all right.
so who wants to go first?
Your training today is killing Nazis.
If
Scalping Nazis.
yeah.
Yeah, and carving swastikas into foreheads.
So why don't I go first, and then
All right. I'll let you and Ryan go before me.
That's
How
what I
about
was
that?
thinking.
Oh, no, I'll whatever's clever. I have enough to say about this.
All right.
So the first note for me is I love how all the characters just wind up towards the end. There's no really loose characters, no people who just. In some movies, you have characters that are in the plot but don't end up doing anything.
Right, they're
Everything
ancillary characters.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as an ancillary character in this.
No. Everything is everybody has a purpose, which I thought was cool. The other thing was at the end, those guns attached to the gloves. I always wondered how bad that would hurt to use.
Yeah, it would probably recoil on the wrist pretty good.
That always seemed painful.
I don't think so. I mean, if it was just a 22 round, which is pretty much all they would really need,
Right, yeah.
I don't think
And
it would have that much
you're
kick.
kind of punching forward with it, too, so, you probably really wouldn't notice it too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every time I looked at it, it always looked
Maybe
painful.
a little powder burn on the back of your hand.
Yeah.
And the other thing, like all Tarantino movies, they have great lines. I wrote down a couple of them that I liked. One of them was, "Hear that? That's Sergeant Donnie Donowitz, but you might know him better as his nickname, the Bear Jew. Now, if you've heard of Aldo the Apache, you gotta have heard of the Bear Jew."
Well, I just like the
It was
line
the
of,
delivery.
Yeah, it's
of
the way he does
Hitler
it.
saying, the Jewish guy who's known as the Bear Jew will no longer be known as the Bear Jew.
But the other one, look, she's not a military strategist. She's just an actress.
I like the line, is that the kind of man you're looking for? Loquacious type?
Yeah.
That's the type of man you need? The loquacious type?
Oh,
I just like the line of, "Don't I look calm to you?"
yeah.
Right.
Well, if
Yeah.
you put it that way.
And most of the reason I like these lines is the delivery. And
Yeah.
it's the,
Yeah.
"Ooh, that's a bingo."
That's how you say it?
Yeah, just the whole,
Just
every
say
time. Yeah, every time he says it, it just makes me crack up. And the other one I just thought was random is, "They're calling me Germany's Sergeant York." I just like, that was, I thought, it's like, damn, that was random.
Sherman Sergeant York.
I had to stop myself from laughing in the theaters when I saw that.
For you young kids out there, go and watch I Dream of Jeannie.
Wow. Look for the belly button. I And I love the ending of the movie when he shoots Aldo shoots the other German soldier. The look on Hans's face is hilarious. He's just like,
Herman.
It's priceless. Just that sheer, what the hell did you just do?
And he says, but I talked to your people. He was safe. It's like, I didn't make that deal.
You're gonna be hanged for this. No, I'll be chewed out. I've been chewed out before. That's actually one of the lines I wrote down in here is, I've been chewed out before.
That's one of the lines that I actually say in real life. Like, no, I'll be chewed out. I've been chewed out before. That's fine.
But I also like I'll get to that one.
So that's that's pretty much my all my points.
Okay.
It's Ryan.
Okay. I know we had this discussion, I think, last week with Shawshank, as far as James, reserving his 5-star rating for movies that truly deserve it. And I'd like to point out, I really try to do that too, because I don't want these moments to be, like dwindled by me just giving fucking 5s to everything. But this really, really did define above and beyond for a movie-going experience for me, for many, many different reasons. Tarantino has a great way of letting his actors act and letting the moments kind of breathe a little bit, which is something that you don't see in sort of the fast-paced editing, that goes on in most big movies like this.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
When you're defining the movie-going experience, what is it to you? Is it the people you're watching it with? Is the movie exactly? What? I think we should have a baseline of what that is.
Basically, like what, dude. Look, when I try to explain to people what movies really mean to me, it always seems to come out like I'm not selling it as good as I should. Movies is like the one thing that's always. Like, when I was 3 years old, my parents, the only way to shut me up was to sit me down in front of the TV for an hour and a half. They're on some, weird Disney movie or something.
That explains what's wrong with you.
Right, doesn't it?
You wanted to be Cinderella growing up.
Right.
Wait, you told me it was Tinkerbell.
But to this day, like, if I want to just kind of, like, zone out on something, like, most people drown their sorrows in the, bottom of a Jameson's bottle. I'll just watch a movie, And most of the time it's because I just want to get wrapped up in whatever story that they're trying to tell, and after watching so many damn movies, you sort of get to know what you like and what you don't, but more that, like, what's wrong with this and what's not wrong, or what takes you out of a movie and what doesn't, what sells the story for you, essentially.
Yeah.
And this one just like, with everything sort of like, well, like I said, letting the moments breathe gives, like the people to interpret, or the audience able to interpret, like the emotions that they're trying to convey. Getting German actors to play German parts, getting French actors to play French parts, the Americans to play Americans, the Jewish to play the Jewish. That's above and beyond right there. Like, nobody really does that. You don't have to do that. I mean, there's central cast that you can find these people at. But
I agree. That's something he likes to do. Cause
and I think it might be a little self-aggrandizing, but who gives a shit? It totally worked.
I do have to admit, I kind of hoped they would do the Hogan's Hero moment where the lead German was played by a Jew who acted like an idiot on purpose.
Right.
Because I would find that
Schultz,
amusing.
right?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Schultz. No, the guy in charge of that camp. In real life, he was a Jew. And the only way he would play that character is he told the casting director, it's like, look, the only way I'm going to play it is if I act like an idiot.
Yeah.
Pull that up, huh?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, but it's fine, because that's what they would have done, back in the day. But nowadays you have, well, Tarantino in particular, has the resources to go out and find, German actors, and he pulled these people really from obscurity as far as America was concerned.
Colonel
you know Klink. What I mean? Like we're really wrapped up in American culture in this country as far as our film actors go. so it's rare that we see people come from out of the country. I think the only one that people really knew was Diane Kruger, because I think she's done a couple of things in the States.
I was going to say, as much as I hate to say this, because I love Tarantino, I think he's kind of a niche, more of a movie fan type of director.
Right.
I think one of the reasons he's able to do some of the stuff he does is because he does it for people, in my opinion, movie fans.
Right.
Who enjoys his process, the way he shoots, the way he edits.
Right. And the people that he does it with. You know, exactly. I mean, Lawrence Bender and the woman that was his editor, Sally Menke, they've all been together for years. I mean, since, you know, Reservoir Dogs. And I think even before they probably started writing stuff together. And they have their collaborations, you know, with other people along the way. But I mean, that core, you know, editor, producer, director group.
Yeah.
When that stays together, they might not have the same vision, but they at least understand the overall, you know, vision of what Tarantino was trying to do. You know what I mean? So being able to work with people like that, you know, I mean, you get products like this and like Pulp Fiction and shit like that. So, okay, yeah, that's most of what it is. Oh, and the languages. Name me another movie that's done in 5 languages. You know, and like, well, to more of the point of continuity. You know what I mean? Like, nobody ever does.
He says there's 4 languages.
Let's see: American, Italian, German, and
English.
That's
American, whatever.
American, whatever you want to call
French.
It. English, Italian, German,
and
French.
Does that really count as Italian? Buongiorno?
Well,
no. When Christoph Waltz starts rattling off, it was kind of sloppy Italian, but it worked. It counts.
Oh, I'm so not going.
Girlami.
Wow.
Dominate the coco. Bravo. Dominate the coco.
Ooh,
Very good.
No, we haven't seen this movie a whole lot.
So,
No.
I guess it's my turn now, and
That's a bingo.
so as far as I'm concerned, this movie is Tarantino's best movie. This is just a cinematic mastery to me. I love the color palette. I love the acting. I love just everything about this movie is really great. I even like the fact that he took liberty with history. Now, I'm a history buff. And usually if somebody does something like this, I'm like, you're an idiot.
He got a lot of crap for this.
But
I remember leading up to it.
If I can make one more thing, the way I likened it to people, it's like American propaganda.
That's great.
True enough.
This is what we wanted to happen. So, yay, you know, like it's like a love letter to, you know, like the freedom of, you know, like World War II the way we wanted it to happen. Revisionist history.
That's what I usually say. It's the World War II the way it should have gone.
Right.
I mean, taking a Jewish commando Nazi killing squad and dropping them, you know, pretty much like the 101st Airborne in Nazi-occupied France, and just letting them do whatever the hell they want is just great.
Right.
And I like the fact that, I mean, Aldo Raines started out by, you guys owe me debit.
Yeah.
You guys owe me 100 Nazi scalps, and I actually want to know if he ever got 100 Nazi scalps, but you know they probably did.
I want
They probably did. I mean, did you see the way Yudovich just walked over there like, all right, I guess I got to carve this guy's scalp off, and then just kind of looking up like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that one in a little bit. Now
that's a man who scalped a lot of people.
Yeah.
By the way, do you think you have to declare that when you get to the U.S.? It's a war trophy.
Are you bringing in any fruits or vegetables?
Nah, I'm just bringing in 100 Nazi scalps.
Or 1,000.
Well, I mean, he only had a few people in his unit, so.
Yeah.
They were eager.
Now, Brad Pitt does an amazing job. I think all of you guys will agree with that. I mean, Brad Pitt's character was amazing. If you've seen all the roles that Brad Pitt has really played, I mean, he does a really amazing job in just this role. It's outside of any character acting I've ever seen him do.
Agreed.
And he just fit right into it beautifully. And not to even downplay Christoph Waltz. I mean, how many guys have you seen speak 4 languages in a movie and pull off each one very nicely in a guy that you're not even sure you want to hate or not?
Right. Well, and it's one of those. I think I remember saying to you, James, like as much as we're really not big fans of the Academy, as far as how many times we've been burned, it was one of those like, oh, this is a no-brainer. That guy's obviously going to win, for Best Supporting,
which he did.
I mean, because it was if he didn't, I think there would have been a riot in the first time in Academy history.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like you said, dude, like 4 languages and being able to emote the way that he did in those moments. But again, I think credit to the editing and to Tarantino as well, being able to let those moments, linger a little bit.
Yeah.
And deliver it in such a goofy way that it makes the character you love.
But then be able to drop into that serious, when he was interviewing Diane Kruger's character, Von Hammersmark, whatever, and you see his face just turn when he said, he just goes from 0 to 100 and just leaps out of the chair.
Well he's kind of joking because he says, what's that American saying? If the shoe fits, you must wear it. And then exactly. She goes, well, what now? And you just watch his face just go from kind of happy,
ballistic,
just ballistic to killing her. Yeah.
I mean, the scene in the opening scene with the French farmhouse.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that one.
Yeah, absolutely. But just when you see his face turn, like you're harboring enemies of the state, are you not?
Yes.
And just dude, that gives me chills every time I watch it.
Yeah. Now I mentioned the soundtrack a little bit. Now this soundtrack to me is a little bit of a mix of the way that he did Kill Bill and kind of the beats from the 70s that he did in Reservoir Dogs. Did you kind of catch that a little bit?
A little bit, not necessarily as much R&B.
Well, I mean, he throws David Bowie in there.
Yeah.
I mean, and amazingly, it's not a David Bowie song I hate.
Right. But other than that, it was more of a great score choice as far as there was a little bit of like hints of almost Spanish style, suspense kind of melodies going on and whatnot. The score that was going on at the farmhouse was incredible.
Yeah.
He's got a real good way. I don't know who does the score. I'd have to look that up, but of just really kind of setting a tense mood.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't believe I have recorded that James liked a David Bowie song.
A.
Still, that's never been heard. I've never heard you utter that. I've got that.
And it's from a Inglourious Basterds.
I don't care. I still have that recorded.
That's fine. You can think that. There are lots of scenes that the banter between Christoph Waltz and any pretty much character that he's up against, such as you brought up the French guy.
Mm-hmm.
La Petite. La Petite, or whatever. I can't think of it right now.
La Petite.
Yeah. Anyway, the banter between the whole thing, even where he starts talking about the Nazi propaganda. I mean, he did an amazing job writing that, and Christoph Waltz did an amazing job delivering that.
And shoot credit to the writing too, because as amazing as Christoph Waltz was in that scene, he didn't necessarily steal it from the French guy. They played off each other. It was a scene about both of them. You didn't, forget about him. Christoph Waltz obviously had more going on, but
it was a scene that wasn't dominated by just one character.
It wasn't dominated. It wasn't all focus here. It was really for the two of them. That guy, the French guy, was amazing. I don't remember who played him, but it was just some French actor.
And then the scene between Aldo Raines and I can't remember the actual character's name, but the little man.
That's Yudovich.
Thank
BJ
you,
Novak.
Yes, Yudovich. the scene between those two sitting across the table where he's like, so it looks like the shoe, what's the saying? The shoe is on the other foot? I was just thinking that. I mean, then they go.
Terrible Brad Pitt impression, Jesus.
I know. I can't get his accent right now.
It's cool.
Anyway, but
not really.
It just kind of goes back and forth between those two, and it's really well done. The banter, the discussion, and how, I mean, it was like really a really well done negotiation that was written right there, because that's what they were doing.
Well, and shoot, and you, James, you know as well as I do, man, as long as we've been Tarantino fans, that's what we really expect is incredible dialogue.
Yeah, really great dialogue. And not to downplay the action, and I was just bringing up that one, is because that's another one of my favorite scenes, is the guy shooting the Nazis like fish in a barrel. Right at that scene where they sit up there with Tommy guns, and they're sitting there just... Actually, those weren't Tommy guns. What were those? Nazi submachine. Thank you. They were the Nazi submachine guns at that time. So they were just blasting, and they reloaded, like, what, 3 times?
Yeah, at least 3 times. They had a bunch of magazines.
Yeah, so they just sat there and reloading, which is funny, because I remember sitting in the theater with John, and we're just, reload, and they reloaded, and we just started busting up laughing. So hard, because, I mean, they actually took the time. It was just great. So, I mean, that's some of the stuff that you really want to see. And then the last scene that really just got me so happy and laughing is, as you brought up, right where he's sitting there and they're talking about the surrendering, and he's like, you got that little house out there. That's okay for killing the Nazi. That's bam, just shoots Herman right there. Yudovich goes scalp Herman, and he did it with the ceremonial knife of surrender. And not only that, but he shot Herman with the gun that was surrendered. So, I mean, that just is even funnier. And then he goes and carves a swastika right on the dude's head.
And he does it with he kills the guy with just not a second thought, just goes whack, and he continues talking like it didn't interrupt his stride of a conversation.
Which I just think is just fantastic. Now, all in all, I mean, this movie is the one movie that I actually legitimately remember coming out of the theater, watching it at midnight, and having enough energy from the movie, and how excited I was about all the scenes, about the acting, about everything that was so well done in that movie, that I could have turned around and gone back and watched it immediately again.
Yeah.
I
actually went to the midnight showing also, because I probably wanted to call you about it the next day.
I think you did.
But I was half asleep. Like I got off of work that day, and I was trying to stay awake to get to that movie, and I got there and I was half asleep, like during the farmhouse scene.
Until
After
the pipe
that, I woke
came
up
out.
pretty good.
Until the pipe came out.
So
I thought that was great.
I'm curious. I've got to know what's your score?
Straight out 5. There's no question.
Ryan?
Like I said, dude, this is the definition of above and beyond.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, this is exactly what he just said. It's the definition of a movie that when you get there, you have expectations, but then they're just blown out of the water by how great it was.
Right. Yeah, revisionist history aside, who gives a shit when you're watching something as good as this?
Yeah.
Who cares about the revisionist history if it's so entertaining?
And who gives a shit about it when you're, the winner and the American and say, fuck yeah, kill Hitler, That's awesome. Shoot him in the face 46 times.
Oh, and you mentioning the fact that he picked, actors to fit each one. I mean, he also picked Mike Myers to play a goofy British
guy, which and when I saw his name in the credits, the opening credits, I was like, Mike Myers.
That's
and
what
the whole movie, I'm waiting for him to show up.
I did the exact same thing.
He played,
and then he shows up in that one scene, and I love that scene.
That was a great scene.
He played General Ed French. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have the rare hat trick of 5s for Flix reviews. I also give it a 5 for 5, just because it's just hilarious. I'm a huge fan of Tarantino, and like everything we said, I think we could spend another 30 minutes just discussing why we love this movie.
Right.
So overall, I just love this movie, and apparently James and Ryan do too, because it's the second time on Real Flix Reviews that we've all given a 5.
What was the
right.
other one?
Oh, I would also like to point out that the scene in the movie when they're showing the movie Nation's
Beautiful
Pride,
Mind.
that's directed by Eli Roth.
Everything's illuminated.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So now we're going to go into movie news, and this week it's James's pick for news. So
now, this came up because I was sitting down watching some cartoons with my stepdaughter, and I was just watching this thing, and I'm like, this is really well done. I wonder what happened to the movie. So this is going to be a little bit more of a discussion type of thing between us three, because I'm sure that Ryan's probably seen this too. Whatever happened to the Avatar, The Last Airbender, that M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong was doing? What happened to it? I mean, he ruined such a great... Yeah, he was putting out the live-action movies, and have you seen it? I know John has. The live-action movie of The Last Airbender?
No, I'm pretty sure I really tried to avoid it.
Okay. Now, to me, this movie proves what I've been saying all along, that, he is one of the worst directors out there. Now, I did
Why the hell did you need to watch that movie? Why, man?
Hold on.
You didn't have to do that to yourself. You knew better.
Just hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying. Now,
whatever.
Now,
wow.
To me, he proved to the world what I was saying all along. He actually won the worst picture. He won the worst director, and he also won the worst screenplay for this movie.
Are we talking about the Razzies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he won all of that. Now, I gotta tell him I'm sorry, Shyamalan Ding Dong, but I actually reserved the worst director for Scorsese. But you're a close second.
Oh, come on, man. So, Scorsese's at least redeemed himself a couple of times.
Nope. So, now, he also got a little bit of the worst eye-gouging misuse of 3D. Now, I can't remember who... He did.
Okay.
Gladly he didn't drag down any of the actors that he had in there with him. He did drag down a couple producers. Now,
I'm blaming him on the downfall of Mel Gibson.
So,
yeah, that's damn right. Everything was fine until he met him.
Yeah,
exactly.
And same with what's his name? The man, Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, what did he do after that? The Caveman's Valentine? Let's not even talk about that one.
What I said, there's
Snakes on a Plane.
Black Snake Moan.
Black Snake Moan. Yeah, let's not even go there.
Everybody's got to work, man.
I know, but I mean, there's some things that you need to stop.
Tarantino makes a movie every 5 years. Fucking Sam Jackson can't, live just doing Tarantino.
He should.
Or Star Wars movies.
Yeah. Anyway, so with all this in mind, I mean, do we really want him to finish this? Because I liked the cartoon.
Now, wait a minute, you're not suggesting that he's actually doing like a sequel to that piece of shit.
Hold on. I want James to finish before we comment.
Okay. He is. He actually has written and has an outline for number 2. He has supposedly a number 3 idea in the works. He pulled some Twitter media bullcrap, and to see what the feedback was, this is September 19th, 2012, according to Wiki. Now, in this one, he's also said that he wants to buff out Aang, and that's how you pronounce it. You can look at the cartoon.
Jesus.
Bugged the crap out of me.
Don't you dare mispronounce anybody's name out there, everybody.
Dude, they mispronounced his name in the cartoon. This is an American-made cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Really well done.
I
don't know if you've actually watched the cartoon, Ryan, but it's actually worth a watch.
Yeah.
They went around and started calling him Ong in the movie.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. So that pretty much just told me where that movie was going. So it was a really bad movie, and now he has said that he's got 3 different movies that he's playing around with, and this is one of them that he's going to try to release soon.
How the hell does he get financing for something like that?
That's what I want to know.
Like a Kickstarter?
I don't.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
Now I actually.
I have a I'll have to admit, I agree with James. I like The Last Bender. I enjoy the latest one, the Korra. I don't know how. I don't know who would ever let him direct another movie, because once you see The Sixth Sense, you basically can predict every single movie. I've seen his last couple of movies.
Just watch Hitchcock.
Well, that's honestly my word. The thing I hate most about him is, like, okay, now you've gotten this stigma as predictable. Do something else. Be, not that guy anymore. And he can't stop. He's like a drug addict.
Yeah, it's
like a really shitty junkie.
It's funny though, because I've actually sat in his movies and go, okay, this is gonna happen. 3, 2,
right.
That happens.
Yeah.
It's almost to the fact that I like being a masochist and sit in the theaters and predict his movies. I mean, it's actually kind of fun.
I watched the Happening for exactly that reason.
Oh, The Happening.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
Do you remember what I said when I got out of that one? It just ain't happening.
Yeah, by the way, thank you for the apology.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that was just...
Oh, The Happening. Dear
but,
God.
Look, I understand that there's probably a section of, middle of fucking America that actually enjoys, oh, did you see the twist in the end of that movie? Holy shit, didn't see that coming.
No, by the way, I think if you want to watch bad movies by a bad director, watch trauma films, because they do it better than anybody.
And at least they're a little self-aware about it. They're kind of in on the joke.
Yeah, like watch Redneck Zombies, Trauma High, something that at least has some sort of value other than M. Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Talks like he's like a Rhodes Scholar who's actually hallucinating, and he's sitting in like a padded room trying to explain to everybody how he got his second Pulitzer.
That's, what he reminds me of is, what was that movie with Mike Myers where he played some sort of guru?
The Love Guru?
Yeah. That's what M. Night Shyamalan reminds me of, the character itself.
Yeah, I thought you were saying the style of shitty filmmaking, because that movie sucked.
No, I just meant the character's wackiness.
Yeah, I get that.
That's what he reminded me of.
Jeez.
So any other news before we wrap
No,
this
I was
up?
just curious, like, seriously, because you've seen the cartoon. Do you actually want to see the end of this? Because, I mean, they only did book 1. That's my actual question.
I'm kind of torn. I absolutely love the cartoon. I'll still watch it when it's on. I like the live action movie to a point. My only problem is I don't like some of the changes he made.
Well, it's not the changes. I mean, I don't think he really put out anything at all. I really don't. I don't think he did anything worth...
The fire types is what bugged me the most. That's what bugged the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Because I think, remember the cartoon, they could produce fire instead of having to be near it. That was the part that really irked me.
I think I remember seeing that sort of led to in the trailer.
I remember being the only guy who was in his 30s or 20s screaming, it's like, you son of a bitch, you did it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it was really...
Mothers covering their kids' ears.
Exactly.
Who is this grown man cussing at this movie?
I mean, it's really difficult to look at this movie and to think, like, Paramount Pictures, who is the studio, would pay him any amount of money to drag their name through the mud again.
Well, look,
I mean, it's seriously what he did in this movie. If you even look at it on IMDb, I mean, it's only a 4.5.
So yeah, but that's from critics. You know what I'm saying? The score that's on this is from critics or people who have the like the pro account on
the
IMDb.
Metascore is 20.
My point being is their demographic might be slightly younger than we're thinking, which. As we all know, your average 10-year-old kid ain't exactly a movie critic. The shit that I liked when I was 10. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm not going to let my 5-year-old watch this.
That's my point, is you're not going to because you're a movie fan, so you wouldn't even take your kid to go see that. But there's a giant group of people who don't even... They're just like, oh, look, this looks like a decent action kids movie. Look, my dad took me to the first Harry Potter back in the day. Thinking that, oh, my kid's going to like this. I didn't really like Harry Potter that much.
Isn't that a porno?
And especially the first Harry Potter really wasn't that good. It didn't start getting good.
How old were you when the first Harry Potter came out?
Say what?
How old were you when the first Harry Potter came out?
Give me 1 second. When did the movie come out?
I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's gonna bust out his calculator.
I'm like, wait a minute. Why are you making it sound like you were a little tiny kid? I was like voting age when Harry Potter came out.
I was pretty young, dude. Let's see.
15?
2001.
Yeah.
It was the year.
It had to have been before that.
No. According to the IMDb, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone came out in 2001.
So I was voting age.
Yeah, we were.
I was like 20.
Yeah.
That was the first one?
Yeah.
That's
why I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, are you sure it wasn't Harry Pooter?
No, let's see. Jeez.
Ooh, it's the NSF.
Family show, dude. Come on.
It's the NSFW for Real Flix reviews this week.
I was 11.
Holy
No, I'm
crap.
saying, let's see.
No, you were like 15.
16. Never mind.
Yeah, 15, 16. What are you talking about?
Yeah, okay.
I know you're not that young.
Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, to wrap up Real Flix reviews, this was the rare hat trick for Real Flix reviews this week for Inglourious Basterds. I gave the movie a 5, James gave the movie a 5, and Ryan gave the movie a 5. And Ryan, next week is your pick. So what movie are you picking?
Oh, this is awesome because I totally put a lot of thought into this.
If you pick Jackie Brown, we're gonna try and quarter you.
I'll second
No,
that.
I'm not gonna pick Jackie Brown, man.
Don't sidetrack him. So what movie are you picking?
Dust Till Dawn 2?
Wow. No, I think he only exec produced that. We can't. That doesn't count. I gotta do it, man. I gotta do Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Damn,
I
you
mean,
stole my pick.
it's the seminal. I think it's the one that everybody sort of fell in love with. As far as it's everybody watched Pulp Fiction and then say, "Hey, this movie's great." Oh, what's this Reservoir Dogs movie?
It's the movie that saved John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson's careers too.
Okay.
I kind of did it backwards. Reservoir Dogs was my big one.
And see, that's how you're supposed to do it. Like anybody who was actually a movie fan in 92, I think, or something like when Dogs came out.
Yeah,
you watched that first, and then you were looking forward to Pulp Fiction. Most of America watched Pulp Fiction and then discovered Reservoir Dogs later on.
So, ladies and
But
gentlemen,
that was, yeah. Anyway,
ladies and gentlemen, for Jonathan Charney, James Stevens, and Ryan Preston, we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
They will support you. They will do referrals between clients. You can't ask for a more complete marketing package.
We love the windfall!
And you can too. Think advertising with the Windfall couldn't get any better? Well, it just did. For only $125 for a 30-second commercial filmed by Old Guy Tech TV, you can be seen and heard.